please.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Ms. Greenwell.
Here.
Mr. Polina.
Here. Are there any conflict of interest statements? Okay, approval of the minutes of the meeting of June 12th, 2025, did I say? June 5th. That should be June 5th, right? Sorry. Should be. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of June 5th, 2025.
Motion to approve those minutes.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Bid openings, I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Nobody? Okay, moving on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval of the resignation of Officer Christopher Walsh effective the close of business on June 8th, 2025.
Motion to approve the request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting to approve the bond for city work in the NDOT right-of-way.
Good morning to
Good
the
morning.
board.
Good morning.
Morning.
Looks like you've been painting.
I've heard a lot of stuff about this show.
So the Indiana Department of Transportation has changed their policy last year to now require local public agencies to provide bonds for work done in NDOT right-of-way. They used to be waived, but one local public agency in particular was non-compliant when damage was caused in the right-of-way, so they put everybody into the same boat and now require bonds.
Okay.
This is a blanket bond. So for those projects that we do, like maintenance work, or if we do, like for example, Leon's Triathlon, where you have to get a permit for that, this bond, and there's no work involved in Leon's, for example, so we wouldn't be expected to have any damage. But like on the boulevard in the Marina District, where there's the planters in the middle of in the median, times like that where we need a permit, we need to come up with a bond. So I asked the law department if they could help me and the controller's office. So we reached out to Prestimer Insurance, and they've worked with us to try to get the bond. So we're asking for you to approve signature on the bond, because it requires someone to execute the signature. Board president can do it, or they can assign that responsibility.
Okay.
I'd ask for your approval.
Got it?
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I'm going to assume that you're going to sign that.
Yes, I'll sign it.
And it does need to be notarized.
Okay.
Thank you.
Letter C, correspondence received from the Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal of amusement device license for Just Tony's Bar and Spiro's Country Lounge.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter D, correspondence received from Alberto Ochoa requesting to hold a Hugs Mexican Independence Parade on September 13th, 2025, starting at noon, and approval for the Hammond Police Department with suggested route.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, correspondence received from Sarah Creel, Special Events Coordinator for City of Whiting, requesting street closures for the annual 4th of July parade with route attached. Yeah, okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
They're,
This one and the next.
they're
Whiting
going,
is, Whiting is tomorrow.
they're going, no,
Yeah.
and it's going to be, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, I got you.
Just a notation.
D&E.
But they're gonna be-
Okay. Okay.
Contingent upon police.
Good, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so letter D and E, both parades are contingent upon police approval. We have approved them in the past, so I don't think there's going to be any issue.
Put 'em on here.
Yeah. Letter F, correspondence received from Felix Riaz, 226 Doty, requesting to block the 200 block of Doty on July 4th, 2025, from 3 p.m. until 11 p.m. with signatures attached.
Motion to approve as long as the party is over by 10 p.m.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter G, correspondence received from Thomas Musayami, requesting a four-way stop signs at the corner of 116th Street and Atchison Avenue.
Mr. Mussolini contacted the engineering department, and I'll set up the MyoVision camera. So if you refer this to engineering, gentleman claims that due to the city of Whiting's deployment of speed bumps, that traffic has picked up more on Atchison. I may ask for some help from PD on their speed camera. Just, it's a good way to count cars. But if you refer to engineering, I'll take it from there and make a recommendation.
Okay.
Motion to refer to engineering.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter H, correspondence received from Elizabeth Silva, 4426 Baltimore Avenue, requesting to close the southbound lane on the west side of 4400 block of Baltimore to hold a 4th of July block party. No. Let's see if there's any, she had till 11 p.m., so we want
Okay.
the same thing.
All right, we'll approve this, motion to approve this one as long as it is over by 10 p.m.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter I, correspondence received from Caitlin Cameron, 6932 Jackson Avenue, requesting to block the section of Jackson Avenue between 169th Street and 170th Street to hold a 4th of July block party. Let me see if it has, I do not see a time, you guys? No later than 1 p.m. Yeah, so that's good. Okay.
Okay, motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter J, correspondence received from Ursula White from the Hammond Public Library requesting to block off State Street in front of the library on June 14th, 2025, from noon to 3 p.m., and requesting permission for a horse to be used for pictures and petting for their annual Juneteenth event.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Your hair looks fabulous. by the way.
Thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
You got him with that one.
I was listening. But the Hammond I'm sending on behalf of the Hammond Public Library and our director, Cornell White. We have an annual Juneteenth program, and this year our theme is Boots on the Ground. So we want to celebrate Black cowboys, and we found a Black horse ranch. It's the Brown Family Horse Ranch. They're located in Gary, Indiana, and they wanted to bring the kids and educate them about agriculture and just make it a holistic thing and a learning experience for the kids. So I'm just asking for permission to block the streets off, just State Street from the start until where the library ends, and also just to have some horses.
Okay.
I think it's only 2 horses.
2 horses.
So we have cowboy hats, so please come out. I have props
Saw
with me. I
those.
didn't want to bring it. I mean, I have them with me, but I didn't know how far to go. But we have hats. We have, we're going to have free food. We're going to have game trucks. It's just going to be an all-around good time for families in the Hammond area.
Anybody have any issue?
So does state run 2 ways in that?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Sibley run 2 ways, so it shouldn't affect it, Sibley traffic. It's not, it's a Saturday, so we won't have to worry about the church, right?
Yeah.
No, we talked to the churches. We talked to churches and we talked to the regional to see if it would be okay. But they
So
said
are you
they're
gonna
not.
block that off at Oakley then? Oakley and Seoul, both sides?
No, just state.
Oh, just the-
state. Just the side where
The library.
regional
On the State
healthcare.
Street side?
Yes.
Okay.
So just
What I'm thinking though is that eastbound traffic from Oakley is gonna have to turn around, right, to go back out.
They can just use the other street, but I think they use
I think
Sibley.
they go use Sibley.
Yeah, they can just use
Yeah.
Sibley.
Yeah, Sibley,
They can
think
just
we're-
use Sibley. It's
All right.
fine.
I think we're okay.
right?
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
Jeff, are you?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sibley.
I don't see why they couldn't,
No,
so,
they use Sibley.
That's why I was
It's
asking.
all
Actually,
up
it's
two-way.
It's 2 ways.
it's too,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
to us.
okay.
Motion to approve.
okay.
I
Thank you so
second.
much.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good luck with, good luck with your event.
I have some flyers too.
Okay. Letter K, correspondence received from Pedro Mesas, 4937 Hickory, requesting permission to block the alley beside his house for a graduation party on June 28th, 2025, from 2 p.m. until 11 p.m. Got signatures, yep, lots and lots of signatures.
Motion to approve, but it must be over by 10 p.m.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter L, correspondence received from Alexander Villa, 2350 Birch Avenue, requesting permission to block off 124th Street from Birch to the alley for the 4th of July from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m.
Motion to approve.
You good, Denny?
Yep. I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter M, correspondence received from Claudia Lopez Cisneros, 6727 Idaho Avenue, requesting permission to block Idaho Avenue between Martha to 167th for a graduation party on June 27th from 3 p.m. until midnight. Signatures, yep.
Motion to approve, but it must be completed by 10 p.m.
And I second.
Mr. President? I
Yes.
just was wondering, on all these, and I know we've discussed this before, but does PD get notice, and do they double check and make sure that 10 o'clock, people are starting to,
I'd like to talk to you about that part
Okay.
after the meeting.
sure? Because I know on some of these days, it's,
Yeah, we do get notice of these and the times, the checking part, I'll talk to you about
Okay.
after the meeting,
Yep.
but yes. Okay. You second, Danny?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, letter N, correspondence received from Araceli, sorry, Gomez, 1529 Lake Avenue, requesting permission to block Lake Avenue between 115th and 116th for their summer solace block party on June 20th, 2025, from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. Yeah, I think so.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. I know. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Letter O, correspondence received from St. Casimir Parish requesting to hold their 19th annual Corpus Christi procession on June 22nd, 2025, from 1:30 to 3:30, submitted for approval. That's PM.
Are they blocking some off?
No, it's
No.
a procession. They get it listed here.
They're moving.
Yeah, they're moving.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah, we're,
Okay. Motion to approve.
I second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Holy cow. Letter P, correspondence received from Dean Button recommending the conversion of the 1200 block of Truman Street and the neighboring alley on the west end from one-way to two-way traffic.
So I used ChatGPT to write this letter, and it took me all of about 30 seconds to complete. It was
Okay.
pretty amazing, at the advice of Mayor, with some amendments. So basically, Lieutenant Larnack had approached me about complaints for motorists traveling on the wrong direction on the alley and the 1200 block of Truman. I didn't see any objection with what his request was. I checked with Councilman Salinas, he was okay with it. I checked with the mayor's office, the mayor's okay with it. It would help in numerous ways. The Columbia School, which is immediately north of Truman, no longer is an active school. It's considered a welcome center. And so we don't see the same level of buses that were coming through, and therefore the need for Truman to be one way is sort of gone away. Truman two-way certainly helps access for public safety, for motorists not familiar with the area, all sorts of real valid reasons. So I'd ask for your approval of this action. I think this requires a 7-day notice to the city council, and then we would deploy that hopefully after 7 days of notification.
Yeah, no, we were happy about the change because we get complaints about people going the wrong way. So it's a good thing in my opinion, so I'm good.
Okay. Motion to approve, and if we could forward this to council for the 7-day notice.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Aye. Thank you. Number 8, matters from board members.
I do have one thing, that's the extension of the rehab agreement at the property located at 607 State Street has been submitted.
was it signed?
It is not signed.
Okay, so we're waiting for it to be signed, I think. I know that Madeline had sent it to the owner. She did, but I think she sent it to both you and the owner. So we're just waiting for signature. Waiting for signatures, so
So-
we'll,
Status?
no action needed at this time.
Okay. Put this in here. Okay, anything else from board members?
No, sir, Mr. President,
That's it.
Okay,
other than your nice
Don't want to
shirt.
impute anything in
thank
there,
you.
you know.
Thank you, thank you. Number 9, new business. Letter A, request for advertising dates of June 19th, 2025 and June 26th, 2025, with a bid opening of July 10th, 2025 for the demolition of properties located at 4712 Holman Avenue, 6810 Kennedy Avenue, and 6831 Kennedy Avenue, submitted for approval.
So these are all properties owned by either the city or Department of Redevelopment, and request that these go to bid.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, request for advertising dates of June 26th, 2025 and July 3rd, 2025, with a bid opening of July 17th, 2025 for the demolition of properties located at 4934 Ash Avenue, 4831 Columbia Avenue, 617 through 19 Goslin Street, the front, 5217 Holman Avenue, and 964 Summer Street, AKA 5614 Howard, submitted for approval.
These are demolition properties that have already have orders affirmed and would request the approval for these to go to bid. I also should have mentioned in item 9A, the address of 6831 Kennedy Avenue may be amended to 6833. It's the VFW that the city is, former VFW building that the city has acquired. But I just want to note that the address may be incorrect on A. So.
Okay, gotcha.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, funding allocation request form requesting $25,000 of the 5th District Gaming Fund to be allocated to the Park Gaming Fund, 2449 Festival of the Lakes, $22,812.33 of the 5th District Gaming Fund to be allocated for the Dowling Park Pond maintenance, $20,000 of the 5th District Fund to be allocated for the tree removal, and $1,236.50 of the 3rd District Gaming Fund to be allocated for the Basketball Tournament Awards, CR Publications.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, agreement to rehabilitate the property located at 7327 Chestnut, submitted for approval.
This was up before the board a couple weeks ago, so
Yeah.
this is the rehab agreement. I don't know what the expiration date is at the top of page 1.
September 13th,
Okay, if we could get a status right before that date,
September 11th.
sure. And then vacate any other status date, Linda, that we might have. Thank you.
Motion to set the status for September 11th, 2025, and to vacate any other status updates.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, resolution intergovernmental agreement with Hammond Redevelopment to transfer properties located at 1134 Conkey, 1136 Conkey, 917 Michigan, 919 Michigan, 921 Michigan, 7232 Grand, and 6133 Columbia, submitted for approval.
Mr. President, these are requests from the redevelopment department to further their infill residential project, and so that these could be properly in the redevelopment department's name if and when parties inquire about doing infill development in these
Gotcha.
areas.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, right-of-way permits received from engineering, submitted for approval.
Good morning,
Morning, Mark.
Board. I like your shirt.
Thank you.
Basically, there's 2 residential services that need to be repaired. Hopefully, they're not going to get into the to the asphalt or curb. They're in a parkway. The other one is Buckeye Pipeline by Bishop Knoll. They're going to excavate a 10 by 12 area in the parkway to check some anomaly they had and repair it if necessary. So I recommend approval. And Bishop Knoll has been notified.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter G, request for a rental registration hearing, submitted for approval.
Motion to set that date for July 3rd, 2025.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter H, garage sale permits, submitted for approval.
like to approve the garage sale request and notify 3748 Toll that this is their third request, so there will be no other requests granted after this one.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter I, late business license hearing, Midwest Tree Works. Come on up, sir. If you can come to this side. Oh, this one. Good morning.
Morning.
Could you give us your name, sir?
Yeah, Enrique.
Okay, what is it?
Enrique Quiroga.
What was the last name?
Quiroga.
Okay, and then are you the owner of the business?
Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us what happened?
I didn't know I needed a business license, and I've been operating since 2021. So they have like a late fee on the other years. So they're trying to see if I can get those removed and just pay the years that I have, or I need to get business license for all years, I guess.
But can you tell us why you didn't pay him those years?
I didn't know I needed
Okay,
a business
gotcha.
license.
Okay,
Ran.
good morning.
Good morning. So home businesses they are not aware that they need a business license, so we're working on that. As soon as I notified him, he did come in and try to rectify everything. So we've got his application submitted for approval through the departments, and he is just asking for the late fees to be waived because of him not knowing that he needed a business license.
Do you have any objection?
I do not.
Do you have any objection? You good? Okay, okay.
Okay. Motion to waive the late fee.
Thank you.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sir, if you want to stay till the meeting's over, they'll give you a copy of this and you can pay it today. Is that okay? He pays it today?
Yes.
If you'd like to. You have 30 days, right, to pay it?
Oh, I'll wait.
You'll wait?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's fine.
the meeting will be over in about 15 minutes, okay?
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Did I say all in favor? Can you make the motion again, sorry?
Okay, make the motion that we waive the late fees.
And I second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, where are we at here? Letter J, resident Lori Stofsik, 1803 Brown Avenue, Strax loading dock issue.
Yes.
Come on up, ma'am. Hi.
Hi.
Could you give us your name, please?
Lori Stavchuk.
Okay, and can you tell us what the issue is?
I don't know where to start. I did send a letter I was at your office yesterday. I
Yeah, we
have
have the letter.
pictures, I have, it's just a mess at Strack and Ventels. I live directly on the corner of my property's right there, and their loading dock is right there. Unfortunately, my husband passed, so he would have been here, so now I'm here. I've lived there for many years, and trucks have hit my house. This past time was in October, and then again recently. So there's a big problem and issue.
reports about the trucks hitting your house? Like, if
Yeah.
record of a police report with us?
Yeah, I do have
the
one
loading dock
police
wasn't
report,
there.
but not,
With you?
no, I sure don't.
It's okay.
So from what I understand, when you moved in the house, the loading dock did not exist?
No, not
So
at all,
they put that
sir.
in when they remodeled?
Yes,
Okay.
oh, we're going back, I want to say middle 90s. When we bought our property, I believe it was 92, nothing was there. The Strax was there, but when they started building, they didn't care about us being right there.
Have you met with them? Have you had any conversation with them at all?
Years ago.
So-
when-
so not for a
yes,
while?
Yes, and they did ask to buy us out, but mind you, we had just moved in there, and, the money situation was tight. So, now it's just all apologies. But my NIPSCO meter is right there behind my home. And dear God, if something happens and I am a total wreck, I get up in the middle of the night because they come at nighttime, 2, 3 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, dear God, no. I jump out of bed. If they hit my NIPSCO meter reader, that's it. It's gone, I'm gone, my home's gone.
So I didn't hear the part. Did you take reports for the damage on your house? I didn't hear that part. Were there, did you make notification with the police department and have a report taken?
Yes, that was in October.
Okay,
Yes, they have, I did file, I called the police right away.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what to do. The
Okay.
truck was literally, when he hit my rail guard, unfortunately, I have to have a rail guard in the back just to protect what I do have.
no, I understand, and
And-
you have no,
It's
you're not
becoming-
interested in selling your house to them.
Well,
I'm not saying that you need to, I'm just asking if that's something that you're
There could
considering
be-
now, or you're not, you weren't?
sir, there could be a possibility. I've done so much to my property in and out.
Okay. Can somebody, what do we,
Yes, my thought is that, for a couple things. One, I'd like to know the history of the loading dock, and I'd request zoning or planning to get us a report on that.
okay,
I think that would be information I'd want. And then second, I'd request PD to do a run on any complaints from this address, just so we can get a picture of what was actually reported.
okay.
And then I think we'll ask our first district inspector, I don't know if he's here today. See him here today? Okay. Mr. Pagic to also be informed of this, and we'll take kind of a look at it, and let's see if we need to talk to the manager out there, or just like see what we can figure out from a city perspective on what was allowed versus what's happening. I'd like, because if, obviously, if, let's say they let the loading dock go in, but it was supposed to be under certain parameters, and then it's not, going under those parameters. So I want to see how that occurred you're saying it was at least the 90s. When did you move in?
92,
Okay.
91,
And it was
92.
not there then?
No, sir.
Okay, so it
No.
would be after 92, so I'm sure Mr. Poland would have some knowledge of that. So we'll go from there. We'll go from there,
Okay.
I think.
And, sir, also, when my husband was alive as well, he's been here a few times as well, because it's just a continuing
I got you.
matter.
We're gonna come to some resolution. We're gonna find out, like he said, we need some background on this.
I understand,
And
yes.
then we do have a good relationship with Strack, so I'm assuming
Yes.
we can sit down with them and maybe work something.
Oh,
out. So-
sure, sure.
So what we'll do is we'll maybe set a status date.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a 3-week status date to
Okay.
at least get us that information, and we can review it. And then if you'd like to come
And-
back at that time in 3 weeks, or
come
we'll
back
set a
at-
date.
Okay.
And then we'll get you kind of some more information when we have a chance to look at it.
Does July 3rd or July 10th work better for you to come back?
Probably, no, the 10th would be better.
Is that okay?
Sure.
So we're gonna do July 10th as a status. That'll give us time to review everything.
Review, sure,
And then hopefully
absolutely.
we'll have a better answer for you when you come back, okay?
Okay. Yes, I sure hope someone could help me here,
We're gonna
because
try. We're definitely gonna
honestly,
try.
it's just, it's very scary because of my NIPSCO,
Right.
meter being
Yeah.
right there. And not just that, my home altogether.
Well, we're gonna get on top and we'll be
Okay,
back. We'll
sir,
see you on July 10th.
Thank you.
Thanks for
July
being here this
10th.
morning. Thank you.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you very much.
And can we add engineering to just maybe take a look at the closeness of the meter to the,
Engineering,
all this
you got
too?
everybody?
I'm sure Dean can do it on his way home, so.
Motion to forward the matter to engineering, PD, zoning, and inspections for follow-up and to set a status for July 10th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, number 10, old business, letter A, status for 7235 through 41 Calumet Avenue.
Good morning. I'm sure Jordan has an update as well. I sent a proposed document over to Mr. Peterson. Jordan then, who was copied on the email, mentioned that he'd been working with Mr. Peterson to make sure that the gas and water was turned off at those residential locations. I think they're in the process of doing that. So I'm waiting to hear back if there's any comments on my document from Mr. Peterson, and I think Jordan's waiting to finalize that work there. But I did confirm that Ms. Herrera, who is Mr. Peterson's client, is now the owner as of late May of the property.
Okay.
Good morning, Board. I spoke with Attorney Peterson on the 10th of this month. He and I discussed the necessary scope of work that needs to be taken for the permit application that Area Plumbing is scheduled to pull. They're going to remove all water and gas lines from the the residential areas inside the property and then cap them behind the walls and then close them. Once that is complete, the necessary inspector will go out, do the inspection. As long as that's completed, then we can move forward with this process.
Good, you're good.
Yeah, how long do they think, Jordan?
Attorney Peterson requested a continuance to 7/10 by agreement. I'm
No
okay
no
with that.
objection?
Yep, okay, good, okay.
Motion to set the matter for status for July 10th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter B, status for 51 Webb.
All right, this is actually for, this should be up for a demo hearing. I know that Mr. Abdullah, right,
Yes, sir.
is here present. He was here last time, and we had a notice issue, so I wanted to make sure that we notified everybody correctly. This is up on a demo hearing today, recommended by Mr. Kearney as the enforcement authority. This is the property that, you know, I believe the neighbor has been here on several occasions. Is anybody else here on 51 Webb today? Okay. So the condition of the property, my understanding is Mr. Abdullah is the tax sale purchaser.
Yes, sir.
The certificate, however, I believe was issued, I want to say, it was issued, it was a treasurer's sale, and he got it last September. Does that sound right?
It
Or did you get
was a regular tax sale, it wasn't treasure.
And it was like last year sometime,
It was
right?
September, yeah.
So the redemption date doesn't end until this September. I'd like to present the board with some photos. These are from April, just to remind you of the property.
No, I see, yes, I got you, thank you.
And page through those, you can kind of see the condition.
I remember looking at this.
As Mr. Abdullah and I discussed at the last hearing, the concern of the neighbors is just that there's kids in the neighborhood. The back shed is just in terrible condition. It's an ongoing problem. It's not Mr. Abdullah's fault, but he purchases a certificate that, of course, doesn't give him ownership and won't give him ownership until not only after the redemption period in September, but then he has to petition the court for the deed. My experience has been in those that the deed probably won't be issued until probably early 2026, is my guess. And so that means that from now until then, we really don't have a remedy on this property. And you've heard the neighbor come on several occasions, much to like my dismay in a sense, because I feel like we're not doing as much as we should for her and the neighborhood. So we're kind of in a tough spot. I think given the condition of the property, our position today is that we'd like to affirm the demolition of that. Of course, that doesn't mean that it's going to get knocked down tomorrow. That means we still have to bid it out and go through that process. I know that Mr. Abdullah also has an attorney, Mr. Kovachkov. He's contacted me, I think, on a couple occasions on this property, but he hasn't told me he was going to enter on for this hearing. And I think we'd like to hear from Mr. Abdullah what his plans are, or if he'd like to obviously respond to the city's position regarding its request to affirm the order.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
When I purchased the property, I didn't really look at it and see what kind of a shape it's in. But when I saw it afterwards, I knew it does need a lot of work. I didn't know it was supposed to be on the demo list until after it was purchased. However, being in that kind of shape, I understand the neighbors' positions. You know, I understand that, you know, there might be a lot of stuff going on. When I went out there and I visited, I couldn't really go inside, but I saw the outside. It was kind of discombobulated, let's just put it that way. I don't know what I can and cannot do in this period, being, you know, just I only have the tax deed on it. You know, I don't have an actual deed on it. I can't really do anything on the property until I actually have the deed on it. It would be a great opportunity for me to go ahead and try to rehab it and do something with the property. It does have some good bones. I know it looks kind of bad right now, but it looks like it's a decent neighborhood, and it does have some good bones on it. I think it would turn out really good for the neighborhood once I'm finished with it. But I cannot do anything to it until I actually have the deed in my hand. In the meantime, I don't know if there's anything that I can do. Maybe have somebody go out there and cut the grass, and maybe.
Well, yeah, so I know that
you
we're,
know.
like, for example, the city is currently cutting the grass. I think, Mr. Kalina, that's true, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which means that the city's undergoing costs to do that. We pay a third-party vendor to do that, right?
I mean, I can take over that if you
And
guys
that's
are
up to
okay
you.
with
I don't
that.
want to,
Yeah,
I don't think I'm
I-
ordering, you know, we're not suggesting
I
we're
know,
ordering you
I
to do
know.
it, but
And
I
I'm
think,
just doing this in good faith to
Yeah.
show that, I want to take care of the property. I do want to rehab the property, and whatever it is that I can do to help out the situation, I'm willing to do, so it's, I mean, as far as the shed in the back, and I can have somebody come in and take all this stuff out if you guys are
Yeah, I mean,
okay
I-
with that, 'Cause there,
Can
it
I
is,
ask you- So can I ask a question? So he can't physically do anything to the outside of the house?
I don't think he can go inside, and I don't think he can actually do anything to the outside unless it's like an emergency repair. I asked him to, I don't want to give him legal advice, right? He's got
I
a
got you.
lawyer.
I understand.
I think the statute does allow him to do maintenance on the outside, like if he needed to upkeep the lawn and upkeep, like he said, he could clear out the shed and take care of that. I think the statute allows that, but again, I need him to check with his attorney on that, because I don't think I or the board should be giving him that permission. But you can certainly tell him that if he believes legally he can do it, that he should, because I think that would go a long way, at least, I don't know, a long way, some way, towards at least letting the neighbors know that he's serious about, when he does get ownership, rehabbing it. It's sat for a long time. I honestly think that, that it probably should have been down by now, just because it sat vacant for so long. I don't know if Mr. Abdullah's done any other rehabs in the city. Have you done anything else in Hammond?
I have not, no.
Okay, anywhere else in that area?
I've done one in Dyer, not in Dyer, I'm sorry, in Crown Point, but not
Okay.
in Hammond, no.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty big project, and I guess what I really just want to let the board know is that, if we're in this position next year and nothing's been done, I'm going to feel a little disappointed, not only in kind of like our whole process here, just because it's been a slow go on this one, but also in Mr. Abdullah, because if he's going to work on it, by this time next year, it should be, he'd pull permits, go, let's be ready to roll. So I don't know if he's got plans for it, if he's got any, anything he can share with the building department in advance, like, hey, when I get the deed, this is what I'm doing, here are my contractors, they're all lined up, but
Mr. Abdullah, can I ask, if you do remodel it, are you going to sell it, rent it? Do you know what you're
I'm
going to do with the
actually
property?
planning on, I might rent it. Depending on how it goes, I might just, honestly, I don't have 100% concrete of what I'm doing, but, mainly I'm probably going to rehab it to rent it.
Okay, but I want you to understand this, so from as far as we're concerned, we're getting complaints from the neighbors. It's been sitting for a long time, and I know you said you didn't know
I did
when
not.
you bought the property, and I understand that, but as Mr. Smith said, that if we're here next year, and we don't really have any experience with you remodeling other houses, so.
Correct.
You're standing before us, we have no reason to doubt you, but we've had other people come before us and say they have these plans, and then nothing happens. So we can't let that
understand.
happen.
I
So we're in a
understand,
tough situation here.
I get it.
So-
I'm on a short leash pretty much.
Very short leash, but
Yes.
have you talked to your attorney to find out what you can do right now to the property?
I have not, no, I have not. But that's why I'm here, just to ask you guys to see what I can and cannot do to the property.
Well,
Maybe you guys have some kind
No,
of insight
we
better.
can't give you that. Your attorney's gonna have to tell you that.
Okay.
And like Mr. Smith said, I think that would go a long way with the neighbors if they seen you or somebody that you've hired out there cutting grass and doing other things after you get the approval from your attorney. The city's out there doing it. They think the city's gonna do that forever and nothing's gonna happen, and we can't let that happen. So-
No, I get that. Like I said, I can take care of the outside of the property. The grass, I can have somebody come out and start cutting. The shed, I can have somebody completely remove that whole shed. I don't know if I need a permit for that or not, I'm not really
no.
sure.
Mr. Kearney's saying you don't need a permit.
No, yeah, so I can have somebody come out there and remove the shed out there and just remove whatever debris is laying around or whatever, so I can start working on it.
And I would ask your attorney if you can board up stuff. There's other things you can do, because I think if I'm a neighbor and I see you doing those things, I know you're serious.
They're probably
Right
going to come
now.
out and talk to you, too.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Like, at one point, remember, the door was wide open.
absolutely.
Again, not his,
No,
not his
no,
fault, but I
no.
mean, this is what we're dealing with, the condition of the property. And I remember the neighbor saying that the door was open.
So, should we set this for a status to give him time to talk to your attorney, find out what you can do, let them know, and then start doing those things? But you need to come up with a plan, the date that you get the deed, right? What are you going to do and how fast are you gonna do it?
And which licensed contractors are you doing?
Yes.
So that's another thing. You got to make sure that you have Hammond licensed contractors. If you go to gohammond.com, that's the website. There's a list of licensed contractors. If you have a contractor that you want to use that's not licensed, they should get licensed so that when you're ready to roll, they're ready to go, right? And so I think that's going to be the key to this. I would request that the order be affirmed though today, given the condition of the property, that we do have good service and proper notice to the owner of the property, which is currently AAA Group Investors, Inc. I believe that's who Mr. Abdullah has the certificate against.
is.
What was the purchase price of the certificate?
Almost
Top
12,000,
left.
almost 12,000,
12,000,
11,800.
So,
Okay, so do you understand, we're gonna affirm the order today, but they have to bid that out, and it's gonna probably be what, at least
8 to 12 weeks?
Yeah, 3 months, 2 to 3 months. So in those 2 to 3 months, you should be getting a contractor ready, talking to your attorney, find out what you can do on the property, start doing that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff you need to be doing in the next couple of months.
I wouldn't mind setting a quick status though
That's
on
what we were
this.
thinking too, yeah.
Yeah.
So how quick, 2 weeks?
I would think 3 weeks, does that sound good?
That's fine.
July 10th, could we do that? Is that 3 weeks or is that?
Yep, no, that's good, July.
Yeah, that's
July 10th, come back, we'll bring some photos if you want, tell us what you've done.
Sure.
If you talk to the neighbors, even better. But you understand that, I believe what the board's suggesting is that they're gonna affirm the demolition order today, but
That is what
that
we're
just
gonna
starts
do.
the process.
And if we do affirm it, is there a way to like
Yes,
resend it?
absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
so a lot of times we're dealing with the owner, and what happens is that we enter into a rehab agreement, there's an inspection done, and then we just monitor it as you're rehabbing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that
Yeah,
sounds
you
good.
understand all that,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Abdul? Okay,
Yep.
we're good.
Okay. Motion to affirm the demo order and set this matter for status for July 10th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good luck, Mr. Abdul. Letter C, status for 5217 Holman.
Good morning.
Good morning. Could you give us your name, please?
Mike Sebergan,
Okay, Mike, can you tell us your association with the property?
partners with the owner.
Okay,
So we actually went ahead and moved forward with the company that secured the panels from the past.
okay,
And they already identified all the loose panels that we're going to take care of. We're actually also bringing in tomorrow a protection canopy that will be where the loose panels are. So that way it's more protection for the people that are on there and basically moving forward with them.
did they give you a time when it would be done?
Yeah, so they're going to bring out the canopies tomorrow, and then we're actually meeting them there and pretty much going over exactly, precisely which panels to move forward with, and then start the process.
What company is that? Is that Hassie?
That's AA Scaffold.
What is it called? I'm sorry?
AA Scaffold. It's,
AA Scaffold.
yeah.
Okay.
I also emailed the
Kearney.
policy for the insurance.
You did. Who'd you email it to?
Kelly
Mr. Kearney?
and-
Okay,
yeah.
okay, great.
Do we know if they're licensed in Hammond or no? No, off the top, you're not
They
sure?
did the
Or
work
you're
from
not? You're not
before.
sure?
They
if they're
actually
not?
secured it. They put the
Okay,
boards
gotcha.
up and everything.
He mentioned that they're the company that did the work there before, so
I- I
hopefully
did
Yeah,
that's...
that part,
they,
yeah.
they did the boards from before.
Okay,
So
okay.
they're familiar with the property.
Okay,
So from the city's perspective, again, we do have a current demolition order, although I think also I did want to confirm that we got notice on the current owners. Discovery Investments and Acquisitions LLC, that's the prior owner, correct?
That's the current owner.
Discovery Investments and
Yeah, that's
Acquisitions
my partner,
LLC.
yeah.
That's your partners,
Yeah.
okay. And are they out of Chicago on 15th Street?
Yes.
Okay. So we do have notice to them, it's currently either under an order, I just was looking for the actual copy of the order, so I'll check that. And it's kind of the same thing. You know that you've heard us mention in the past that this property is a big concern just because of the water damage and the environmental report that was received by redevelopment. So that I would encourage you that if you do want to try to save the property, that you're in touch with, and I think you are with Ann Anderson.
Yeah,
I'm
we
sorry, Ann
actually-
Taylor
yeah.
and others upstairs.
We actually had Ann come inside. We we were communicating with her to come inside to look at the property, so they're aware of what's going on. We're working with a couple developers that are also interested, so that way if we can put everything together, they can move forward and give you guys the plan on
Yeah, I
how they're gonna go and rehab and everything.
I think the biggest issue, at least from our perspective, is the environmental report and whether or not the water is impairing the building structurally. I don't know, Dean, have you read that report? Have you seen it? Okay, so I would also encourage you to talk with HDEM, which is the Hammond Department of Environmental Management, with Ron Novak, because I'm sure he's going to have some opinions on his concern regarding the mold and the water in that building. I mean, it's a significant concern, and I'm not sure if it's salvageable, but I'm not a environmental consultant, and I'm certainly not an engineer.
Sure.
So, yeah, I would just, that's important to me, is that, I mean, because it was kind of full speed ahead for the demolition, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we still are gonna bid it out. So, you know, as the owner, I'm sure he wants to preserve his investment, I get that, but it's gotta be figured out pretty quickly, so.
Well, I do like the pace that he's
Agree,
moving
I
along.
appreciate the
That's
fact that
good,
they're
yes.
working hard to get this panels secure, and it's on their dime, which shows their willingness to work with the city.
So do we set a quick status, or what do we?
Up to Mr. Kearney,
Yeah, I would say 4 weeks out.
yeah, a couple weeks maybe? It'll give you enough time to come back and say the work's done.
Do the 10th,
Can we go the 3rd,
the 3rd?
unless are you gonna, you're on the 3rd?
Uh,
No, that's right around the 4th.
because I have to ask
July.
him, could we do like maybe after?
The 10th.
The 10th?
The 10th will be perfect. Thank you.
The only thing I would say is that if Mr. Kearney indicates that the work's not being done by next week, that we have him here on the 3rd, or
Gotcha.
even sooner. What's next Thursday?
26.
So is the following one the 3rd, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3rd. Okay, so the owner doesn't have to come, but I think Mr. Kearney, if he could give a status update next week, just telling the board whether work's moving forward, then I think we're good with the 10th. So just set it for the 10th today, and if we need him here earlier, we'll.
You understand that?
Correct.
Okay.
They want to see progress
By next week?
By next
And if we
week.
do, the status will be the 10th. If we don't, you'll have to be here the 3rd.
Sure.
Okay, so, okay.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Okay, motion to set the status for July 10th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, number 11, late rental registration hearings. Let's start off with letter A, 6540 Grand Avenue.
Morning, Board.
Morning. Morning. Could you give us your name, sir,
Damian Cortez.
and your association with the property?
I'm the owner.
Okay, can you tell us what happened?
Honestly, there's no real excuse. The registration date's April 15th. I missed it. I bought the property last summer from my parents. They'd owned it for about 20 years or so. And I mixed up the dates. I had the property tax date mixed up with the registration date, and time I realized it, it's too late.
Is this your only property?
Yes.
Gotcha, okay.
Property owners own the property since 8/22 of 2024. We are here for 2025's rental registration. There are no other issues with this property.
Good, yeah.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, sir, it sounds like you know it's January 1st, April 15th.
Correct.
If you'd like to stay for the conclusion of the meeting, they'll give you a copy of this, and you could take it downstairs and pay the $5.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I like your haircut too, by the way. Okay, moving on to letter B, 1670 174th Place. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you
Hi,
give us
yes, I'm Brandon Ward.
what was your first name again, Mr. Ward?
Brandon.
Brandon.
Okay, can you tell us what happened in 25?
Yeah, so I own a tax accounting firm, and I had it on the to-do list for my secretary to get this out. Reconciling my books after the April 15th deadline, I realized that we had missed it. As soon as I realized it, I filled out the registration form, brought it down to the city hall, and they notified me that I could appeal. So I was hoping you folks might grant me a waiver of the penalty, please.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Property owners own the property since 6/2 of 2023. We're here for 2025's rental registration. There are no other issues with this property.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, sir, we waive the late fee. You have 30 days to come in and pay the $5 fee.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Letter C, 6931 White Oak Avenue. Gotcha. Good morning, sir.
Hi,
Can you give us your name, please,
Charles Armstrong.
and your association with the property?
I'm the owner.
Okay, can you tell us what happened, Mr. Armstrong?
I sent in my 2025 registration, and they told me my 2024 registration was never received. I never paid 2024. I was out of town, and I mailed it all in, but obviously it never made it here. So I sent them all the proof that I've, had the property, because they said that one of the properties I hadn't renewed it in 3 years, but I've, done my registrations every year. I don't know what happened last year with the mail. I was out of town. So I worked with someone in the inspections office, and they told me, I sent them all the stuff, and they told me I had to come to this hearing
Okay.
for the appeal.
Okay.
Okay, for 6931 White Oak, the property has been owned since 3/8 of 2019. We're here for 2024 and 2025's rental registration. There are no issues with the property. I was made aware that documents were submitted prior to the deadline of April 15th. And at that point, I accepted the rental appeal for all 4 of their properties for 24 and 25.
So we're good waiving the late fee? You're good with that?
I am good with that.
Okay.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Same thing, sir, if you'd like to stay till the meeting's
Oh,
over, you can
okay.
pay that, okay? So it's 10 for 2 years, right? Yeah, 24 and 25.
The 24 and 25?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, moving on to letter D, 1648 171st Place. Same
You
thing?
can just
Same thing
stay.
for all the properties.
You could just stay there, sir. Yeah.
The C, D, and E, and F are all the same, on the same applications.
Okay. We'll do them one at a time,
Okay.
but we're good with all the properties, same situation?
Same situation for all properties, here for 24, 25 for rental registration. No issues at any of the properties.
Yep.
Okay, motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, letter E, 6913 Northcott. Thank you. Northcott. Same situation, Jordan?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And let's see here. One more. And that is letter F, 7216 Woodlawn.
Same situation, 24, 25 rental registration, no issues at the property. Owner's owned it since March of 2019.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thanks for being here this morning, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, the meeting's now open to the public. Anybody have anything they want to say? Okay, good to go.
Motion to adjourn.